We're beginning tonight with news about one of the top-selling cancer drugs, Avastin. It's used to treat a variety of cancers, but the FDA said today that it should no longer be used to treat breast cancer because there's no evidence it helps patients and it may actually hurt them. Avastin is big business with sales of $3 billion a year, and it's estimated that as many as 5,800 Americans are taking it for breast cancer. We asked Dr. Jon LaPook what the FDA announcement means for them.
Avastin is, to me, part of my safety net.
Breast cancer patient Bonnie Fertel feels crushed by today's FDA decision. She believes Avastin is keeping her alive.
I feel like this is a life raft. I don't want to see it yanked away.
Fertel is afraid her insurance company will stop paying for the drug, which costs $90,000 a year.
It should be the patient's decision, not the FDA. It's a tremendous pickle. Do I want to eat? Do I want to pay my bills?
The FDA is withdrawing the preliminary approval it granted Avastin in 2008 because further research found it caused serious side effects, including death, and did not help women live longer or feel better. Dr. Elisa Port is a breast cancer specialist.
While the idea of not treating someone with cancer is incredibly unappealing to many of us, we certainly don't want to give them something that they really have no reasonable hope of benefiting and yet may incur some very significant side effects.
The other purpose of the clips.
Oncologist Dr. Gary Lyman was on an advisory panel that recommended withdrawing the drug. But he believes a small group of women do benefit from Avastin.
I would not hesitate to use it if I felt it was the best option for a patient and the patient understood the financial ramifications.
Doctors can still prescribe Avastin because it is approved for other cancers. And today, Medicare said it will continue to cover the drug for breast cancer. But Genentech, the maker of Avastin, told CBS News that several private insurance companies have already stopped paying for it.
Then it would only be patients that are relatively well-to-do who would be able to actually get the drug and pay for it themselves.
Although cost is clearly a big issue here, the FDA says it does not consider the price of a drug, only whether it is safe and effective.
But John, what about Bonnie Fertel in your story who says the drug is saving her life?
Well, Scott, she may well be part of a small group of women who actually do benefit from Avastin. But you know who we didn't have in tonight's segment? The woman who died from Avastin because of a side effect. And that's what the FDA has to consider as it's refereeing this tension between evidence-based medicine on the one hand and patient belief on the other hand. They have to consider everybody, the big picture. That's why we saw today's decision.
Interesting. Thank you, John.